Well, you probably know who John Walsh is. For more than 20 years, he hosted the hit show America's Most Wanted, which aided in the capture of hundreds of wanted fugitives. His show helped to rescue Elizabeth Smart after she was kidnapped by an insane man and held captive for 9 months. Walsh is also the founder of the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. He created that group after his own son, Adam Walsh, was kidnapped from a shopping mall and murdered, likely by serial killer Otis Toole. Walsh has also pushed for stronger laws to track and punish child predators. The Adam Walsh Child Protection and Safety Act was named after his own son. It's all admirable. But what if there's another darker side to John Walsh? We already know that that's the case. Actually, John began seeing his wife when she was just 16 years old, under the age of consent in New York. So under the very laws that he fought for, John Walsh should be classified as a sex predator. But we're not here to discuss that. Adam Walsh wasn't his only child. Shortly after his murder, they had a daughter, Meghan Walsh. Meghan is now grown up, and she says that her parents are putting her through the same hell that child kidnappers have put so many other families through over the years. Instead of fighting child abduction, her parents have become perpetrators of it. Meghan has become a voice against our corrupt CPS system and how it's become a form of de facto child trafficking. We know that as well. Meghan has several children of her own, but several years ago, her parents filed complaints with the Florida Department of Children and Families to have them taken away. Meghan says that the allegations that her parents made against her are all completely false and lies, but she was never even given sufficient due process to disprove them. It was just her word against her famous and wealthy fathers, and her father won. In 2021, John Walsh got Florida officials to seize Meghan's children. But now in the past 2 weeks, something even more horrific has taken place. Meghan Walsh just gave birth to a new daughter. And once again, her parents have used the same tactics. They called the Sheriff's Department of Indian River County, Florida, and had them swoop in to literally snatch her newborn baby out of her arms. There's a viral video. People are pissed about this. After the deputies took her newborn daughter away, for good measure, they arrested 2 of Meghan's friends on allegations that they were obstructing the officers. This is a scandal, we believe, and it deserves to be getting national attention. And to that end, Meghan Walsh joins us now. Meghan, thank you so much for coming. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Stu.
So,
Thank
you would think people would think that John Walsh, being his daughter, that you would be one of the most protected people against the children being exploited, but apparently nobody's immune from this kind of evil.
You're absolutely right, Stu, and it's terrifying. And, that's why we're bringing attention to this. The country already has this issue. Too many people are talking about it, too many parents coming forward. It's affecting too many children, and we can no longer be silent about it. I'm just an example.
Child Protective Services, or CPS, or whatever state has their variation of this agency, is assisted oftentimes by cops as an enforcement arm to come and grab children away from parents, where oftentimes no criminal charges are ever even filed against them because they didn't commit a crime. Then these kids are trafficked into the adoption and foster systems where actual real abuse and trafficking and depravity takes place. Describe what you've learned about this agency since this has happened to you and your own family.
Gosh, for years, many know that prior to any of this happening to me, I was an advocate speaking out about the corruption and how we can do better. And unfortunately, what we've all heard prior to now, I am now experiencing firsthand. And, your neighbor could be upset with you. Your neighbor could just call and say that, something's going on. And then the state comes in and has custody of your children. And this is very dangerous for our parents across the country, especially if you're raising your children traditionally or homeschooling or naturally, any of that. We need to all be aware of this.
Yeah, we've seen it with people that want to give birth at home rather than going into a hospital. And this, I believe, happens because they want to take that brand new newborn baby and inject that baby with God knows what that leads to autism and then obviously a life of, control through the same system. Yeah. People are stuck in this system until they're of age, which could be 21 years old. These people are lifelong victims of this trafficking where they see atrocities and horrific things happening. We had a guest on this program just the other day saying that 11 and 12-year-old girls are coming into their ministry shortly after giving birth to a baby, and then moments after that birth, watching these children be sacrificed right before their eyes. Why is it that people can't believe that evil like this actually exists?
I think that we've all been told, best interest of, and we've really been, hammered with this phrase. And we really need to start questioning, who is it in the best interest of actually? Our children are being stolen across this country and they're being treated like commodities. And this also creates a generational issue, then also including the prison system as well.
The county that stole your kids and the sheriff that showed up there, I have learned, for a rather relatively small community in that county, has a $52 million annual budget. All that money is coming from somewhere. And this foster and adoption system generates all kinds of money. These people are literally plucking kids away from their parents and then selling them off into the system. This is absolutely the definition of child trafficking.
It is the absolute definition of child trafficking. Children are taken and put into foster prisons, as we call them. This includes big pharma, drugging them up, looking at the contracts that these people have between each other, as well as beautiful children being taken from loving families and adopted out. In Title IV, there's absolutely no incentive monetarily to return children. And a very small portion actually even goes to the foster children. It's horrific.
And then even if parents try like hell to get their kids back and go through all of the reunification protocols and programs, oftentimes it's all for naught. And then they get their parental rights completely stripped away and severed for eternity. So we're watching this video of what happened to you. Take us through this. I mean, this is horrific. This got over 1 million views. It went completely viral. People are pissed about this.
They are, and they should be.
So take us through this. What happened? I mean, you're sitting there with your brand new child.
Mm-hmm. We were there at the home. They had known for months that I was pregnant. They harassed us to find out, and they made no effort to make this a peaceful process for especially my 5-day-old child. They decided instead to stay out front of our house with sheriffs the entire night before, shining the head beams on our home and backyard, harassing us, having the dog bark, and then came in with every SWAT or any resource that they could come up with in our small town, which is actually gotten out of control since my father and this new sheriff have taken over. So they came in with SWAT and then, said they were starting a criminal investigation, and the videos everywhere. Everyone saw that we did not impede whatsoever, and we were asking the right questions. So, like you said earlier, law enforcement is complicit in this. There are real abuse situations and neglect, and we have a criminal justice system for that. This is your taxpayer dollars going towards this system of transporting our children around, taking them and profiting from them.
So how do people fight this? I mean, what do people do to protect their kids against this? I mean, you have political candidates that are being targeted. I could be targeted. In Jesus' name, that will never be successful. But just because I'm an outspoken fighter against all of this, I mean, I could certainly be targeted. Somebody could just call and say, Stu is beating his kids, or make any allegations that they want to, painting the picture that they're otherwise unsafe. And the next thing you know, I've lost all control and my kids are being taken away by the cops. How do I stop that from happening, or others, in about a minute?
Well, we all need to come together and use our voices and say that we are not okay with this. You need to start looking in your communities around you at the contracts that your local DCF or CPS has with private contractors, pharmacies, and different people, especially judges. The judges are taking these children and they are the ones doing these and making these orders. I want everyone to also look up their judge's local court watching link. And when you have a break or a day off, get on and start court watching these and see for yourself. You can also write affidavits and submit them to support whoever's going through it. Contact your governor, contact the IG, the AG, and say, as a concerned citizen, you are not okay with this, and there are better ways. We need to address this now. Yeah, we do. And we need to be asking a lot of questions, yes. And a lot of these questions are, whatever happened to CPS? What happened to Frazzle Drip? What happened to adrenochrome? What did Hillary Clinton mean when she said that she was going to be sacrificing a chicken to Moloch in her yard? A lot of these questions are going to be answered in an exclusive upcoming documentary called These Little Ones, which should be coming very soon in the Stu Peters Network. Meghan Walsh, thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate it. God bless you. Thank you. God bless, Stu.
I don't think that ever in our history there has been a more important time than right now to make sure that you are mentally dominant, focused, and you are clearly thinking. So have you ever considered brain supplements? These things are absolutely amazing. They allow for focus on demand, clarity on demand. No more need for coffee or shots of caffeine. No more need for hitting the snooze button to allow your brain to wake up. No, this is like a switch for your brain. Immediately be ready to process the information that we're getting at lightning speed with the products from Newtopia. Go to newtopia.com/StuPeters, newtopia.com/StuPeters. Added aggression, added clarity, added focus. It'll help you in the gym. It'll help you to sleep. Replace alcohol with the brain supplements from Newtopia if you need relaxation or meditation time in the evening. I'm telling you, this stuff works great. I'm a user of these products and I absolutely love them. Not addictive, safe, and 100% legal. Go to newtopia.com/StuPeters. Again, newtopia.com/StuPeters.